starting a 21-day fast. It's called the Daniel fast. You can Google it and it's all on there. You can get all kinds of information and all that stuff from all kinds of places. But we started this about in 2012, so a little over 10 years ago. The 21-day fast is a way for us to set aside the first of our year to focus on God. Now, fasting is not just a diet, okay? Although you can fast to diet. We have intermittent fasting, we have all this kind of stuff. It's very popular. It's healthy for you. But a fast is actually setting aside food for a spiritual purpose. It's actually God's idea. He has done it since before you and I were ever here, thousands of years ago. He would call people to a fast. He said, if you're going to meet me, if you're going to come and see me, I want you to fast. If you have a need, I want you to fast. If you're trying to seek direction from God, call a fast. And they would go 1 day, 3 days, 4 days. Some people fast for 40 days. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness. And it wasn't just a Daniel fast. It was zero. Absolute fast. He had no food. I imagine he had water, but he didn't have to, I suppose, because he's Jesus. But he fasted for 40 days. And so what we do is we fast for 21 days to focus on God, eliminating food for a spiritual purpose. Daniel's fast specifically is no meat, no sweets, no dairy, no bread. Within that, you can do grains if you want. Do that according to your needs. When I was growing up, I always considered a fast eating nothing. So when I first heard of a 21-day fast, I was like, that's absolutely impossible. And then I found out there's other types of fasts. So a 21-day Daniel fast is no meat, no sweets, no dairy, no bread. Give or take grains as you want. You can have legumes, beans, that kind of thing. So one thing people say, like, well, what do you do? Honestly, I eat a lot of chips and guacamole. It's my go-to snack, tortilla chips and guacamole, okay? So if you're thinking, like, Brandon's out there just eating nothing and he's so holy and all stuff, like chips and guacamole is my go-to. My other thing is that I eat baked potatoes. I don't eliminate sauces and things like butter. Okay, even though I don't do dairy, if I drink a coffee, I drink almond milk the whole time. I don't do a sweetener in the coffee, even honey, which I do a lot during the rest of my life. I don't do that. It's coffee and almond milk. And so if it's bad, it's bad, but I have a little coffee, whatever. So when I have a baked potato, I eat butter, no sour cream, just butter. If I have fried vegetables or, in a skillet, I'll have like teriyaki sauce or something like that with it to give it a little flavor. I eat salt, garlic, all those kinds of things. That food can taste good and still be Daniel fast friendly. When I eat a salad, I still eat ranch dressing. I start off my fast with 3 days, only water. After the 3 days, then I'll go to liquid. Okay, so for the first week, I'll do 3 days of only water, and then the rest of the week I'll do liquids, which means I drink juice. I drink, sometimes it's a smoothie. I drink powdered vegetables. So I'm getting nutrients some way, right? You can also drink like a protein shake or something like that. So what I often do is I'll have a protein shake. If I put milk in it normally, I'll put water in it. And you're like, well, that's gross. It's like, well, welcome to fasting. Does this make sense? So those are some practical things that we do. If you can't do food, you're welcome to do other things like digital fast, social media fast, that kind of stuff. Set aside things for the sake of pursuing God. Okay, so this particular form of pursuing God is biblical. In the Old Testament, they did it. The New Testament, Josh talked about Matthew chapter 6. Jesus is giving the Sermon on the Mount, and he talks about giving when you give, right? Josh talked about that. He talks about when you pray this way. And he says, when you fast. He doesn't say, if you decide to fast, or if your church does a 21-day fast, and maybe you think you want to give up Facebook. He's like, no, when you fast. It should be a regular thing that you do, just like praying and just like giving. It should be a regular part of your relationship with the Lord. And for some reason, God likes singing. I'm glad, that's a wonderful thing, but like God values singing. And for some reason, God values fasting. Like he responds to it. And so he was like, in the Old Testament, he would talk about singing and come into his presence with singing and all of these wonderful things that God enjoys. And then he would say, hey, we're going to pray and I'm going to show up and I want you to fast before I get there. Why, God? I don't know, but it matters. It changes things. And so I'm looking at the Bible and I'm saying, God, what is it that you like and how can I respond? Okay, and there's one other thing. So he likes singing and he likes fasting and prayer. And he likes money. And I don't get that either because God doesn't need money, but he likes money. He says, you want to honor me? Give money to me. It's like for some reason, he always, and from the beginning of the book to the end, is always talking about people giving him from what they have. And then like, why should we pray? Well, God does whatever he wants. If God's going to do anything, he'll just do it. Except for he likes it when you ask. And Jesus talks about it, Old Testament talks about it, if you'll pray, then I will hear from heaven and heal your land. Well, that sounds like a good thing. So how do I get that? Pray. And prayer is always linked with fasting. And every time he's like, hey, come and pray, and let's have an assembly, let's have a solemn assembly where we'll come together and meet together. He's like, I want you to fast. And it's like, well, what does giving up food have to do with anything with you, God? Does that benefit you? And he's like, I don't know, I just like it. So those are the 4 things that I don't understand about God, but I want to actively participate because that's what he says is cool with him, and I want to be cool with him. I hope to initiate in you a fasting life, place where you begin to understand that God moves and he loves when you interact with him, and this is one way that we interact with him.